Beetlejuice. 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 Howdy, folks. We're just gonna hop right into it here. My name's Jackie, or is it Beetlejuice? Who knows? And we are back today with another speed build of one of my favorite shows, movies, whatever. You guys get it. And today, this is the hardest build I have ever done. So it would mean a lot if you guys gave this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you want to become a member, I'd really appreciate it. As you can see, I started with terrain tools, which is not a good sign for me. I'm not good with terrain tools, and things always go poorly when Jackie uses terrain tools. So yeah, I wanted to build this house, the Beetlejuice iconic house from the original movie, which is probably my favorite movie of all time. If it's not my favorite movie of all time, then I would say it's at least top 3 of all time. I've watched it a million times. I just saw it in the movie theaters this past year for the first time because I was not born when it first came out in theaters. So it was pretty amazing to see it in the theaters. But that all coming down to say is that the house in this movie is pretty insane. Obviously, it's insane already because it's a Tim Burton movie, and everything in Tim Burton movies are weirdly, they don't make sense. They're not proportionate. Most things. And I love practical things. It doesn't matter. Also, it just hit me that I did Nightmare Before Christmas build, which is coming up. I think if you haven't seen this already, I don't know which one I posted first, but I'm doing 2 Tim Burton ones right now. So, yeah, you're probably wondering, why is this Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, Tim Burton. Okay. That's my reasoning. Also, I love Beetlejuice. Also, I built this around Halloween. So this is the one I was talking about in the murder house video, that this was probably the hardest build I've ever done. I didn't keep all of it in of me tearing down and rebuilding, but I did have to tear down this build and rebuild it multiple times. So, if you know the movie, or if you've seen it or whatever, or seen pictures of it, the house that's in this movie sits up kind of at the top of a hill in this small little town in Connecticut, I believe. And it's just kind of chilling there. It's like an old farmhouse. It's kind of like haunted-y-ish. Like, it's not really well, it is haunted technically, but I mean, like, it's very old and eclectic and all of that in the beginning of the movie. And this, cute little couple owns it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm not giving you the plot of a movie, okay? I'm giving you the rundown on a build. So it sits at the top of this hill and everything like that. And so I tried to kind of give that vibe. Also, as you guys know, I was building all of these in Newcrest, so I was kind of limited on like where to put this. I could have possibly done it on a bigger lot, yada, yada, yada. But I think this ended up working out well because I ended up wanting to put some little Easter eggs you'll see coming up in a little bit. But as far as roofs go and terrain, those are my 2, and platforms. Those are my 3 things I hate to do in The Sims building. And I had to use a lot of all of that in this particular build. The weird thing about the Beetlejuice house is that every picture of this house, because they used a real house for some of the shots, and then they also kind of made a practical set, and they also used miniatures for other scenes of the house. And halfway through the movie, I said I was going to say Moira, and it is because she plays Moira in Schitt's Creek. But they completely like remodel the house and everything in the movie. So while looking for pictures and static shots of this, from every angle, it looks slightly different. The roofs are different colors, or There's different angles that make the house look completely different. Like, it was like a magic trick. Like, I just kept feeling like I would be basing it all off of one shot that was from one angle, and then I would go and look at a different shot to get the other side of the house, and it would look completely different. And I had a really hard time, so I had to take a little bit of creative liberty with some of this, because it just made no sense. And there were so many roof pieces and so many different colors roofs. I don't know. When you Google this, there's like so many different options. Obviously, you have the one tower that I have right there with the little fencing around it on the roof. That is pretty much the same in every shot. But all of the other pieces kind of change depending on what picture you're looking at of the actual house, or if you're looking at the set, or if you're looking at a still from the movie. They all look slightly different, which makes it very hard when you're trying to build. Also, a weird thing about this is that there's a lot of platforms on this house, and I don't even necessarily mean platforms as in platforms like in The Sims, but platforms in the real sense of like, they have a whole wraparound porch and there's hardly anything under it supporting it. It's a really interesting house. I'd like to see it in person. I'm very interested in architecture. I just don't think I could ever be in architecture, like in the business. I think it's fun to look at houses, but then if you tell me I have to like actually like do measurements and stuff, I'd be like, I'm out. I'm just the idea man. But yeah, so I had to really work with these roof pieces. And then also with what I did on this, and then having to make that work on the inside of what the house looks like on the inside, was truly hard. But yeah, I did a lot of deleting and rebuilding on this, because I'm telling you, every time I would think I had something right, I would look over at the picture or several pictures that I had pulled up, and I would be like, oh, that's wrong. Don't know how that's wrong, but it's wrong. So again, I was using platforms. Learned a lot about platforms, learned a lot about myself. I think this build took me 7 hours total to do, maybe more. I kept leaving it and coming back to it because it was frustrating me so much. Also, in like the real house, it has stairs, or the house in the movie, I guess, has stairs leading up to the porches in multiple spots. The biggest entrance that the characters in the movie use is actually not the front door. It's the door to the kitchen door, which has steps leading up to it, and a little tiny porch as well. So it's weird what like the front porch is compared to what the entrance is that they show most in the movie. And there's also a sub-level, like a basement level, but it's above ground, that is their garage. And in the movie and in pictures of the house, there's a garage there. And so I just kind of, there's nothing in that level of the house, that bottom layer that you see underneath the stairs there. That's the entrance to the kitchen, by the way, right there. And again, it's kind of held up by a couple columns, and that little box right there is the kitchen, which is crazy because that's actually how it is. And so it's just a very strange house. It was very hard to wrap my head around it. But down there, it does have like stone. In some pictures, it looks like stone. In some pictures, it looks like brick. But the common denominator of that is that it is like the garage. And there shouldn't, like, there's a platform there. Normally there wouldn't be a platform. It would be able to like drive up, but there's no cars in The Sims 4, so it didn't matter anyways. I did use a lot of debug here to add some like fences and different greenery outside, and kind of looks run down, but not really run down, just, you know, old and eclectic. There's a lot of firewood stacked under the stairs there and a lot of the pictures, so I kind of added that, and I added you know, a lot of dirt and just, you know, like grass growing in places, because it's kind of like a farm almost. Like, I think I even add a cow in a little bit, because in some of the shots you see like cows off in the distance, like technically on the property, although they never talk about that in the movie, so I don't think they own cows. There just happens to be cows around. But yeah, this, I don't know, I think we were At this point, I was at like 3 hours and I hadn't even finished the outside. So like I said, I kept taking breaks with this. And I kept changing the roof pieces because like the tower was always black. Black roof shingles, but the rest of the house changed a lot from like a tan to sometimes black to sometimes brown in different pictures. It was just very, very hard to decipher. So I ended up going with this, which I thought kind of worked. And again, just like the murder house build, windows on this were wild. Normally in builds in The Sims, and just like I feel like it would be the same for builds in real life, you would have like a few different windows that all kind of go together, and those are the windows you use throughout the property. But with builds like this and like the murder house build with these very eclectic old homes, they use so many different window types. I don't know why, but they do. And also you'll see here, I was trying to make like little roof pieces and stuff like that to make like a little outside thing going on there. And as you can see too, the front door is not actually level. You can't actually get in that front door, and you couldn't for a while. It took me a while to figure out how to do it, and it's because I used platforms, and platforms are the bane of my existence. I did a few things. I added just like a little chair and stuff like that to the porch because I saw in certain pictures that that's what it kind of looked like. And then down here, before we get to the inside, this is my little Easter egg I did. If you know the movie, spoiler alert, like 30-year spoiler alert, skip ahead if you don't want to know the spoiler, but they die and they end up haunting their house. But the way they die is they are driving into town, or driving, I guess, back out of town over this little bridge, and they go off the bridge, and it's this cute little red barn bridge that's over a little lake, a little river, lake, whatever, and they have a little yellow car that they drive in. And so I basically made that little scene down below. Obviously the scaling is not to proportion, but you get it, you get the Easter egg. And I don't know, I thought this added some charm to the build, because I was like, what else do I do down here? So as you can see, it's just their little car driving through the little bridge there where they end up dying, thanks to a doggy. So apologies if that was a spoiler, but go watch the movie, okay? Yeah, so this is the front door. Had a lot of trouble with that. That was fun. And then I just put some cute little flower boxes, stuff like that. I put some greenery growing up around the house, just to honestly, just to block like this slab of concrete that I couldn't, color anything because it's a dang platform. If you know tips and tricks on how to do platforms in The Sims 4, please, by all means, let me know in the comments things I need to know about using them, because I feel like all the time I am not hitting the mark with platforms. So yeah, we're getting close to the end of the outside. Truly, the outside took the most work as far as literally everything. And I finally I just started messing with terrain and all, and finally got it to kind of where I wanted to keep it. This little roadway, and I add just a few little extra things here, make the water kind of murky and the car going through it. I was like, well, should I put the car in it? I lost my whole train of thought. But yeah, so also let me know in the comments, have you seen Beetlejuice? Like I said, it's my favorite movie, so I truly recommend it. A Beetlejuice 2 is coming out soon, so that should be exciting. I also added a fence because I do believe there is a fence in the movie. Obviously, fences get kind of wonky when you start trying to put them on terrain. But anyway, we are inside of the house. Thank goodness. So here, there's a little step down into the house because, again, with those platforms, everything was all weird and wonky. And then I put the iconic stairs. So what I wanted to do with this house is I kind of took a few creative liberties with things like bathrooms and stuff, because you never see bathrooms like in movies and all. But I did try to make certain things of iconic scenes kind of, work in this. So obviously this is the staircase at the end of the movie where, they have her floating and she's dancing. And that's kind of the area that they are in most of the time. I did try to keep it mostly how Barbara and Adam keep the house and how they love the house, with their like eclectic style and everything. And then I created this room off to the side that you'll see that I really kind of made it how the Dietses changed it, and kind of what they did to the house, and very weird, and obviously her art and everything that in the movie. So I did kind of a room to honor that, and then the rest of the house I tried to keep it to what the Barbara and Adam loved about their own house, because I wanted to honor them. But yeah, again, the bathrooms, I just kind of did whatever I thought would kind of go with the rest of the house. And then I tried to, anything that I remembered from the house, and I tried to get like stills and stuff like that, find them on Google, of things that would kind of make sense. Like I put a grandfather clock in there because I remember there being a grandfather clock by the kitchen. So this tiny little box right here is where I end up putting the kitchen, which is pretty crazy, but it's how it is in the movie, basically. It's this tiny little square kitchen, except the back door goes out to the garage, basically, or goes down to the garage, which I didn't put in because there's no need to have a garage in the Sims 4. But yeah, I just put a lot of like nooks and stuff and little books and things. I put a lot of clutter in this build because I thought it kind of made sense of that transitional period from when Barbara and Adam died to the Dietz moving in. And then I put this little end table here, and obviously she goes up the stairs and she's, dancing and floating. And yeah, I just put a lot of old looking stuff that kind of went with the vibe of the house and what I know of it from the movie. This kitchen, I'm probably one of the things I'm more proud of in this build, because their kitchen is like this light green and like very old but cute, and so this little corner kitchen, I feel like I did a pretty good job of like recreating it. If you go watch the movie and look it up, you would think this is like an ad for Beetlejuice with how much I'm like, go watch the movie, or go watch. Now this is not at all based off of the play, because the musical, the sets are completely different, but I do love the musical. I've seen it twice now, and it's also amazing. But yeah, so that's the kitchen. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's pretty cute. And it's functional. I did play test all of this, and this house is functional. I actually made Lydia and Beetlejuice in The Sims 4, and I play tested it with them to make sure that it worked. So this little room over here is where we kind of give tribute to the Dietz. It's very weird and marbly and gray, very different, very much like her artwork that she has. And I sized up some weird things from like the paranormal pack and all to make it, I don't know, kind of like I made these into chairs. So that hand is like normally a little statue, and I put like a little stool on it so you could sit there and it'd be a chair, kind of like in the movie where it grabs them. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this was just like my little corner for that. But I think it turned out pretty cool. I think it's interesting. I tried to keep it similar to the house, where there's like a little window peeking in. So it's kind of like a little window peeking into that little corner of the home. And especially, like as an homage to the end when they end up sharing the home together. Again, spoiler alert. But yeah, I put the little table here. I put lots of baskets with blankets and all to make it really cozy and paint like they were working on it. And again, just some more weird stuff in that little room. As much weird stuff as I could fit. And then I ended up putting 2 urns on the kitchen table in honor of Barbara and Adam because it's where their little ghosties are. But yeah, this is just a lot of clutter here in the front entrance. Kind of wanted it to look like what it looked like, when they passed away. And so, like, what people had to clear out before the Deetses moved in. Whew, I'm out of breath, you guys. These speed builds, when I film them, I feel like I talk nonstop. And so I apologize. But yes, so upstairs, upstairs I wanted to make the parents' room and then Lydia's room, and then I obviously wanted to make the iconic attic. And instead of doing a 3rd level, because obviously that didn't work with what I did on the outside, and I wasn't about to go change the outside, I kind of ended up making like a little hideaway nook corner. As you can see, the door over there with the bookcase goes into the attic space where Barbara and Adam live. And you get to that through Lydia's room, which I thought was kind of a fun little thing. These rooms are pretty small, but I feel like they would be in this house. I feel like the rooms wouldn't be that big. I did just like a little bathroom up here for your Sims to share if you wanted to use this. This will be on the gallery, by the way, if you want this house. I don't feel like it would be a super fun or a super fun build to play in because it's very difficult, but it might be fun for like a little Beetlejuice Let's Play. So this is Lydia's room. Obviously, it's all black and dark because my whole life is a dark room, okay? I, too, am strange and unusual, and you don't understand me. So just lots of black, lots of candles, her cameras, because she takes lots of pictures. And then I put a little desk in the hallway, which I really like this. I would like to do another build where you kind of go around like that. I think it kind of worked well. And then that's how you get to the attic, is by going through that little bookcase door. And again, that's where a lot of the movie takes place. And of course, there's like a center table with a whole miniature town on it. And that's where they first meet Beetlejuice and all. So obviously, I couldn't make a whole miniature town on this table, but I did like size down some dollhouses. I put a lot of things in this attic. So much clutter in this build, I swear. That just kind of represented like all the different hobbies and different things that that the couple had taken on, basically like that was their whole life that they had. And I put a lot of lights up because there's like string lights in the movie, and I don't know, I really cluttered this up. I wanted it to really feel like a very lived in attic. And honestly, this might have taken me longer than all of the work on the outside, because just when placing clutter in The Sims, it's crazy. But yeah, so this was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if there was anything like little Easter eggs that I put in here besides like the Christmas lights and stuff like that. And these wall heights are so freaking high. I was just like putting things all up the walls. But yeah, I did enjoy, like I said, I sized down a little dollhouse, you'll see in a second, that I put on this table in the middle. To kind of represent the town and the house, because that's the whole thing, is there's like a whole miniature of their whole town on this little table in front of them. So I put like little trains and cars and stuff like that to kind of represent that, So, yee. And I guess what other parts of this? Oh, I did end up putting... Also, this bear was creepy. If you zoom in on it, its eyes are gone, and then it like comes back. I did end up putting a little medium table in the hallway here to contact ghosts. And I put some more like paint buckets and stuff like that. So it was like, they were working on renovating the house. And then this is the Dietz's room, the parents' room, where basically I just put like really fancy stuff in here that it would just be very eclectic in a different way, and over the top and extravagant, and big portraits and fancy mirrors with gold on them. I feel like that looks like the house to me. So I'm like, oh, they just got a painting done of their own house. So yeah, again, this room is like, it's very cramped, but I mean, it works for what it is. And yeah, and like big curtains thick and all that. At the end of this video, I will, because as I say in everything, the speed builds, I know they're fast, you can't see everything. So there will be, some footage for you to be able to see the rooms better, to see the build better. And if you like the build, and you'd like to see it more in person or download it for yourself, you can go, you can find it on the EA gallery. My name is Jaci Butler, JACIBUTLER, in the, on the gallery. It's just my name. So again, if you liked this, please make sure to subscribe, turn on the bell. I'm going to be doing a thing for January Members Month. I'm going to be posting a lot of members videos that I'm very excited about. So even if you just want to join for the month of January and then, bail out, you can check out some of those videos during January. So, and it would also help the channel. So thank you guys so much. There's the little cow. There's the little guy. He's just a little guy. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. It was very challenging, but it was very fun. I think my favorite part is the little bridge there, with their car going over it, and that was probably the easiest thing I did. Let me know what you would have done differently. If you have any tips on how to use platforms in The Sims better, let me know. So thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. And if you don't watch another video before, a happy new year, happy holidays. Hope you're having some good restful time, hanging out with family and everything else. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.